Barely 2 weeks after a strike by members of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria almost paralyzed activities at the National Assembly, the members are staging another protest there at the chambers. The workers barricaded the National Assembly, preventing anyone from gaining access in commencement of their 4-day warning strike, which begins today. One of the leaders, Odo Chris, told the protesting members to stick to their agreement for the police to embark on a strike and not a protest that will prevent other people from gaining access to the National Assembly complex. The strike is coming 2 days before the President's presentation of the 2019 appropriation bill to a joint session of the National Assembly.
Where you have capable staff who should render their services, what is the reason for hiring contractors? You have money to pay contractors, but you have no money to pay your workers. You look around the National Assembly, you see that over 30% of the job has been given out to contractors. And the question we have been asking is, what is the reason for contracting these jobs out? And so we will continue with this strike. After this warning strike, they fail to do the needful. We shall continue until all these issues are resolved.
Well, you've heard from one of the workers, perhaps one of those who led the protest today at the National Assembly, when they've not been paid. A crucial question is that there is going to be a national event regarding the 2019 budget. The cry of these workers is that pay us what you owe us for working in the National Assembly. But don't forget, on Wednesday, the president is scheduled to present to the National Assembly the 2019 appropriation bill. Well, some lawmakers have threatened that they will stage a walkout from that presentation. Well, will that presentation even hold at all? Those are big questions that we need to have answers to tonight on the program. And I have the spokesperson of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abdulrazak Namdas, who joins us from our Abuja studio tonight. Thank you so much, Honorable Namdas, for coming on the program tonight. Well, these workers are not happy with what is happening. What is happening with their wages? And this is not the first time they are staging this protest. When will they be paid?
Sheon, thank you for that question. I want to tell you that we have been talking to the union leaders, and we have stick to the agreement, and we have been able to do our own part of the bargain. For instance, we agreed that we were going to table their issues before the plenary, the issue of their increment. The report was laid, and it was adopted and debated and adopted. So you can see we also invited the Minister of Finance to come and tell us why is it that monies meant for the workers have not actually been released in the 2018 budget so that they can be paid. Because we did that because some of the workers did not probably believe that the money wasn't released yet. So when we invited the Minister of Finance, she sat with the Committee on Finance, and the committee has also done their job. They are bringing the report, which will be laid tomorrow before the plenary. Unfortunately, now that they have picketed and also locked up the gates, I don't know how this will be done, because we have always been on their side. For us to have a functional National Assembly and then to have even members to work, we will need workers that are vibrant, well-trained, well-motivated. So we are on the same page with them. Unfortunately, I think they have taken it so serious that they decided to lock the gate. And we feel that it shouldn't be done in that manner. Let us discuss it, and let us see how we can be able to resolve these issues. More so that the president has written to us, is going to lay the budget before the joint sitting on Wednesday. And Sheun, I must tell you that the Section 81 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, has given the president latitude to present this budget within any period within the financial year. And financial year, by the Constitution, Section 318 states that any period between 1st January and 31st of December, or period prescribed, or any other period prescribed by the National Assembly. So if we don't present this budget by Wednesday, we are likely to enter into a constitutional crisis. So I think it is important that the budget is not for workers of the House or National Assembly or for members of National Assembly. It's for Nigeria. So I think we should be open. We should be talking since we are on the same page with them.
I mean, the workers today were questioning the integrity of what is happening in the National Assembly, considering the fact that they are saying that you hire consultants to work for lawmakers. You're paying those consultants, but those who are working with you on a regular basis, who are coming to work every day, are not being paid. They don't seem to be on the same page with you, because if they were, or if they are on the same page, they would be shutting down the activities. It doesn't look like you're on the same page, Honorable Namdas, with these workers who are working with you.
Sharon, I think I have to do some explanation here, and this is what I want Nigerians to listen. The National Assembly is structured in a manner that the House of Representatives has its own fund, different. The Senate has its own fund, different. The management has its own fund. Neither the Senate President nor the Speaker has hand in running the funds belonging to management. Because management, they are members of staff, they are civil servants. We will come as politicians and go, and they will remain. So the way it is structured, we don't want to allow politicians to dabble into their issues. So we are only intermediate. We are just like intermediaries, because we have leaders in the National Assembly. If there's an issue on ground, we should be concerned about that. But it is not as if the money meant for management is run by either the Senate President or the Speaker. That is not actually true. But where there are issues, I am not saying there may not be issues. But what we are saying is that we are not the ones running the fund of the staff of the National Assembly. And even the CNA has clearly stated that, look, these areas you are asking for is captured in 2018 budget, but it has not been released. So, and that was why we had to meet with the Minister of Finance. So I want to tell you that it is not as if it was a deliberate act from us. But if there are issues, we can only resolve these issues when you open the gate, we allow us to talk, because these are issues that can be tabled before the plenary. And if you don't allow us to do our job, how do we solve your problem?
I mean, I'm afraid that some of them, talking to journalists today, they're not trusting what you're telling them, because the last time they gave a warning, and this time around it does look like those things that they said, they're saying that you took it with a pinch of salt, and that's why they're going to shut down the National Assembly, and in that way it might impede on the presentation of the budget of the president on Wednesday. How do you then get the trust of these workers? That's a major problem, isn't it?
That was why I said very clearly that we decided to invite the Minister of Finance, and the report will be late tomorrow, so that they will get to hear. At least the Minister of Finance will not tell us lies. She will tell us what has actually transpired, the releases, and the releases not only on them, all the releases as far as his 2018 budget was concerned, they were asked to give us the releases, and they have clearly stated the releases. So we will make Nigerians know. So it is the staff will know that we are not just telling lies. We are not being economical with the truth, and that was why we took those steps. Mr. Sherwin, I want to say that we have three arms of government, as everybody knows: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. I can't imagine that today that there are workers in Aso Villa. If the workers in Aso feel that they have issues with their arrears, can they shoot the gate of the Aso Villa to prevent president and elder person from entering doing their work? Is it possible for workers in the judiciary to close shop and everything so that nobody goes there? I think what we are saying is that the legislature and we in the National Assembly are really concerned. We cannot do our job without these members of staff, truly. Some of them are even very experienced. So if you come, some of them have been the clerk of certain committees. They also educate some of us as to activities going. So we cannot do without them. So if they have issues, we should be in the position to be with them. But again, we are in democracy. They should not hold us to ransom. They should not hold the whole president from presenting a budget. The budget is the budget of the nation. Mr. Shehun, we represent the entire country. And therefore, if you stop the budget from being presented, we are likely to run into a constitutional crisis. And I think it is not in our interest. And once you stop it, how do we solve the problem for you? I think we should be on the same page. And actually, they should trust us because we are serious and we are sincere in our dealings.